Hello everyone, and welcome to Wicked Encounters, where we explore just what goes bump in the night. I'm your host Allie, and it's every horror fan's favorite time of year, October. In celebration of the spookiest month, I've compiled a list of movies that I think are worth sharing with you guys, and I'm calling it the 31 Days of Wicked Horror. We're on the 16th day of October now. There's now fewer days left to go, but that's alright. We're going to make the most of them. In case it's your first time checking in, I'll tell you how I've selected these movies that I believe are worthy enough for you to watch. First off, none of the movies are going to be older than 20 years, so we can add some newer videos to our must-watch lists instead of continuing to repeat the same ones from 50 years ago. Hi, Ghostbusters. Secondly, I'll be providing the synopsis and plot of the movies, for those who may not like surprises or just want to listen to know what the movies are about. There will be a slide letting you know when we're coming up on it, and I'll let you know where it's safe to click on to avoid spoilers. Also, while many of the movies are streamable, I'm not going to really provide the info on where you can watch them, because it varies based on where you live, and streaming services love removing and adding movies like there's no tomorrow. Finally, I'm going to give you some reasons as to why the movie stands out, and why I think you'll like it. So, 16th on our list is Talk to Me. Talk to Me is a 2022 Australian supernatural horror film directed by Danny and Michael Philippou in their feature directorial debuts, and written by Danny Philippou and Bill Hinsman. It was produced by Screen Australia, oh my god, another long-ass list, South Australian Film Corporation, Adelaide Film Festival Investment Fund, Headgear Films, Metral Technology, and Causeway Films. Finally. The film explores the dangers of dabbling with the supernatural and the devastating consequences that can follow. The film centers on a group of teenagers who come across a mysterious and cursed object, a ceramic hand, that serves as a conduit between the living and the dead. I'm going to go more in depth and go over the plot of the movie now, so if you'd like to skip, you'll know where to skip to in 3, 2, 1. The story begins with the protagonist, Mia, who is struggling with the recent death of her mother, Rhea. Mia feels disconnected from her father and turns to her friends for solace, especially her best friend, Jade, and Jade's younger brother, Riley. Jade and Riley live with their mother, Sue, who acts as a surrogate family for Mia. The plot kicks off when Mia and her friends attend a party where they are introduced to the ceramic hand by a group of older teens. The hand is covered in strange writing, and the teens explain that if someone grabs the hand and says, "Talk to me," they will see a spirit. If they then say, "I let you in," they allow the spirit to temporarily possess their body. The possession lasts for exactly 90 seconds. If it goes longer, the spirit may not want to leave, leading to potentially dangerous consequences. Intrigued and seeking an escape from her grief, Mia volunteers to try the hand. She says the words and is immediately confronted by the spirit of a drowned woman. The experience is intense but exhilarating, and Mia becomes obsessed with the hand, wanting to use it again and again. Her friends also take turns, with each possession offering a unique and terrifying experience. But things take a dark turn when Mia convinces Riley, who is only a child, to try the hand. Riley initially resists, but eventually agrees to participate. When he grabs the hand and says the words, something goes horribly wrong. Instead of a brief possession, Riley is overtaken by a malevolent spirit that refuses to leave. The spirit violently thrashes Riley's body, forcing him to smash his head repeatedly against hard surfaces in a horrifying scene. The other teens desperately try to pull the hand away, but the damage is already done. Riley is left in a critical condition, comatose, and fighting for his life in the hospital. Overwhelmed with guilt and fear, Mia starts experiencing disturbing visions of her dead mother, who seems to be reaching out to her from the other side. The line between reality and the supernatural begins to blur for Mia, as she becomes increasingly isolated and paranoid. She starts to believe that the spirit of her mother is trying to communicate with her through the hand, offering her comfort and guidance. But as Mia becomes more consumed by these interactions, it becomes clear that the spirit may not be her mother at all, but something far more sinister. As Mia delves deeper into the world of the supernatural, she uncovers the dark history behind the hand. It is revealed that the hand belonged to a powerful medium who was able to communicate with the dead, but became corrupted by the evil spirits she encountered. After her death, the hand was severed and preserved, becoming a cursed object that entices the living to make contact with the dead, often with disastrous results. The climax of the film sees Mia being pushed to her limits as the spirits become more aggressive and malevolent. She starts to lose her grip on reality, haunted by terrifying visions and voices that manipulate her emotions. The spirits prey on Mia's grief and vulnerability, convincing her that she can reunite with her mother if she fully embraces their world. In a desperate attempt to save Riley and end the curse, Mia makes a fateful decision. She takes Riley from the hospital and attempts to kill him by bringing him towards a highway. In the end, though, Riley is saved, but Mia dies in the fatal car accident. The film ends as Mia watches Riley get better in the hospital, but she cannot interact with the family. She then sees her father, and as she tries to run to him, she finds that she also cannot do that. The film ends with Mia seeing a table. She goes towards it, sits down, grabs the hand, and realizes that she is now a spirit, as someone proclaims, "Talk to me." And with that, the film ends. Hey there, glad to see you. To those who stayed, I hope you enjoyed what you heard enough to give it a watch. And for those who skipped, don't sleep on this movie. It's a twist on the paranormal, and it is so good. And it has a sequel coming out. But I bet you're wondering why it made it onto the list. What makes Talk to Me stand out? Well, for one, it's a unique concept. The film's premise of communicating with spirits through a cursed object, specifically a ceramic hand, is fresh and original. The rules of the hand, saying, "Talk to me" and "I let you in," creates a unique ritual that drives the horror, making it distinct from other supernatural horror films. Psychological depth. Talk to Me delves into complex themes such as grief, loss, and the dangers of unresolved trauma. The protagonist Mia's journey is deeply emotional, as her desire to reconnect with her deceased mother makes her vulnerable to manipulation by malevolent forces. The film effectively blends psychological horror with supernatural elements, making the scares feel more personal and impactful. Realistic characters and relationships. The film excels in its portrayal of teenage friendships and family dynamics. The characters are relatable and well-developed, making their descent into horror all the more tragic. The relationship between Mia, Jade, and Riley adds emotional weight to the story as their bond is tested by the supernatural events. Tension and atmosphere. Directors Danny and Michael Filippo, known for their YouTube channel, Raka Raka, bring their experience in creating suspenseful and intense scenarios to the film. The tension builds gradually, with a creeping sense of dread that permeates the entire movie. The filmmakers use practical effects, sound design, and minimal CGI to create a visceral and immersive horror experience. Moral ambiguity. The film doesn't provide easy answers or clear-cut resolutions. The ambiguity surrounding the spirits, the hand, and Mia's fate adds layers of complexity to the narrative, inviting viewers to interpret the events and their implications. This lack of clarity makes the film more unsettling, as it leaves room for speculation and discussion. Emotional resonance. At its core, Talk to Me is a story about grief and the lengths people will go to in order to reconnect with lost loved ones. The horror is not just in the supernatural elements, but in the emotional torment that Mia experiences as she grapples with her mother's death. The film's exploration of grief adds depth and poignancy to the horror, making it more than just a series of scares. Memorable scares. The possession scenes are some of the most intense and memorable moments in the film. The way the spirits interact with the living through the hand is both creative and terrifying, with each possession offering a unique and horrifying experience. The scenes involving Riley's possession and the subsequent fallout are particularly impactful, leaving a lasting impression on the audience. Subversion of expectations. Talk to Me subverts typical horror tropes by focusing on the psychological consequences of dabbling with the supernatural, rather than just the physical dangers. The film also avoids over-explaining its mythology, allowing the horror to remain mysterious and enigmatic. This approach keeps the audience engaged, and on edge, as they never quite know what to expect next. Talk to Me stands out in the horror genre for its original concept, emotional depth, and psychological complexity. It offers a fresh take on the supernatural horror film, blending traditional scares with a thoughtful exploration of grief and trauma, making it both a terrifying and thought-provoking experience. And that's all I have on Talk to Me. But don't worry, I have 15 more movies that I'll be sharing with you. What do you think they could be? How do you feel about Talk to Me being on the list? Would it make it onto yours? How well do you think Talk to Me 2 is going to go? I personally can't wait! Let me know in the comments. I'd love to discuss horror more in depth with you all, so feel free to join the Wicked Encounters Discord group. If you like what I do and want to support me, maybe consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the little bell icon so you know when I post. If you want to support me in other ways, maybe check out my Patreon. Speaking of, I'd like to give a great big thank you to my patrons, Nakala and Beefalump. You guys are probably the most mentioned patrons I've ever had because of this one-a-day schedule I have going on. And you know what? I still think you are the absolute best. Well, that's all I've got time for today. So remember, I'm Allie, this is Wicked Encounters, and I'll see you next time. Bye!